Money. It is not just a piece of paper or metal. It is history, power, and identity. In Nigeria, the journey of money tells the story of a people, their kingdoms, their trade, their colonial experiences, and their struggles as a nation. Today, the Naira sits in our wallets and banks, but the story of how we got here stretches back hundreds of years, to a time when wealth was counted not in notes or coins, but in shells, salt, and gold dust. Before the Naira, before British pounds, Nigeria's ancestors relied on barter trade, exchanging goods for goods. Farmers traded yams for fish, hunters exchanged animal skins for grains, and herders swapped cattle for tools. But as trade expanded beyond villages, barter became inefficient. What if the fisherman didn't want yams? Or the farmer didn't need goats? There needed to be a medium of exchange, something universally valued. That's when cowrie shells arrived. Imported through Indian Ocean trade routes, cowries became West Africa's most popular currency by the 15th century. In Nigerian markets, cowries were king. Among the Yoruba, large numbers of cowries were strung together in bundles. Among the Igbo, they served both as money and symbols of fertility and wealth. In the Hausa kingdoms, cowries were used to pay for food, clothing, and even as taxes. But cowries were not the only form of currency. Brass rods and manillas, horseshoe-shaped bronze pieces, were widely used in the Niger Delta, especially in trade with Portuguese and British merchants. In fact, manillas became tied to the slave trade, where humans were exchanged for these bronze objects. Salt bars were highly valuable in northern Nigeria. Salt preserved food and was essential in cooking, so blocks of salt were traded as money. In certain regions, gold dust was used to buy luxury goods. In pre-colonial Nigeria, wealth was diverse and local. A Hausa trader, an Igbo farmer, and a Yoruba king all had different systems of money, but trade flourished. When Britain colonized Nigeria in the late 19th century, everything changed. The colonial government imposed a new currency system, linking Nigeria's economy directly to Britain's. By 1912, the British West African pound became Nigeria's official currency. It was divided into shillings and pence, just like in Britain. 1 pound equals 20 shillings. 1 shilling equals 12 pence. This system was strange to many Nigerians at first, but it gradually replaced cowries and manillas in official transactions. Colonial banks, introduced around this time, rejected indigenous currencies, forcing people to adopt pounds and shillings. The coins and notes often bore the face of the British monarch, symbolizing not just economic control but also political domination. Yet, in rural Nigeria, cowries didn't vanish overnight. Markets in the villages still used them well into the 1920s and 1930s. For many elders, cowries felt more trustworthy than strange colonial paper. But the British pound tied Nigeria to the global economy in new ways. Palm oil from the Niger Delta, cocoa from the southwest, and groundnuts from the north were now traded internationally in pounds, not cowries. Nigeria was locked into Britain's financial system. Nigeria gained independence in 1960, but initially kept using the Nigerian pound, which was still structured after the British system. However, by the early 1970s, Nigeria wanted a currency that reflected its sovereignty. On January 1, 1973, under General Yakubu Gowon, Nigeria introduced the Naira, Nigerian Naira. The name Naira was derived from Nigeria, giving the new money a sense of national pride. The Naira was divided into 100 kobo, making it simpler and more modern than the British system. Nigeria became the first African country to decimalize its currency, abandoning the shilling and pence system completely. The first series of Naira notes featured national symbols like the central bank building and coat of arms, while coins bore the Nigerian coat of arms. The move unified the country under one currency and erased a major colonial legacy. At its birth, the Naira was incredibly strong. In the mid-1970s, thanks to the oil boom, 1 Naira was stronger than $1. Nigerian workers abroad sent money home proudly, and the Naira was recognized across Africa as a currency of power. But economic fortune does not last forever. By the 1980s, Nigeria faced economic crises. Oil prices collapsed. Corruption and political instability spread. Imports rose while local industries weakened. Inflation set in, and the once mighty Naira began to lose value. The government responded by printing higher denominations. 20 Nigerian Nairas note in 1977. 50 Nigerian Nairas in 1991. 100 Nigerian Nairas in 1999. 200 Nigerian Nairas in 2000. 500 Nigerian Nairas in 2001. And 1,000 Nigerian Nairas, the highest denomination, in 2005. Each redesign celebrated Nigerian leaders and heroes. Chief Obafemi Awolowo on the 100 Nigerian Nairas note. Alhaji Tafawa Balewa on 5 Nigerian Nairas. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe on 500 Nigerian Nairas. But with every new note, the Naira's purchasing power fell. By the 2000s, inflation made coins like kobo almost worthless. Today, it is rare to see coins in circulation at all. To modernize the currency and fight counterfeiting, the central bank introduced polymer notes in 2007. Denominations like 5 Nigerian Nairas, 10 Nigerian Nairas, 20 Nigerian Nairas, and 50 Nigerian Nairas were printed on polymer material, which lasted longer than paper. However, the experiment had challenges. The polymer notes were expensive to produce, and they did not withstand Nigeria's hot climate as well as expected. Some eventually returned to paper. Meanwhile, Nigeria also embraced digital banking. The cashless policy encouraged people to use ATMs, POS machines, and mobile banking apps. For the younger generation, transferring money on a phone became as normal as using cash. In 2021, Nigeria launched the eNaira, Africa's first central bank digital currency. It symbolized a leap into the digital future, though adoption has been slow. In late 2022, the central bank announced new designs for the 200 Nigerian Nairas, 500 Nigerian Nairas, and 1,000 Nigerian Nairas notes. The goal was to fight counterfeiting, curb hoarding of cash, reduce corruption. But the rollout caused chaos. Old notes were withdrawn too quickly, and new ones weren't printed fast enough. Nigerians queued endlessly at banks, many unable to access their money. Businesses struggled, and frustration boiled over. By early 2023, the government was forced to extend the use of old notes, calming the storm. This episode revealed just how deeply currency policy can affect ordinary Nigerians. Today, the Naira faces major challenges. Constant depreciation against global currencies. Inflation making everyday items more expensive. Lack of global recognition compared to the dollar, euro, or pound. Yet, the Naira is more than money. It is a symbol of Nigeria's independence, resilience, and struggle. From Cowries to kobo, from manillas to mobile money, from British pounds to eNaira, the story of Nigeria's currency mirrors the story of the nation itself. Proud, complex, and always evolving. The Naira is more than just currency. It is a mirror of Nigeria's past and a window into its future. From shells washed ashore centuries ago to coins and notes in our hands, to digital codes in the cloud, the Naira tells a story of survival, transformation, and national identity. The journey is far from over. The Naira of tomorrow may not be in your pocket, but on your phone, in your card, or even in the blockchain. But whatever form it takes, it will always remain uniquely Nigerian.